Your therapist charges you $300 an hour to teach you techniques that a Roman emperor wrote down for free nearly 2,000 years ago. The most powerful psychological tools in the modern world aren't modern at all. They were carved into journals by a slave, whispered in samurai death rituals, and practiced in the private chambers of emperors who ruled millions. Modern psychology didn't invent these methods. It repackaged them, gave them clinical names, and put a price tag on wisdom that was always meant to be free. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at self-help the same way again. Because what you're about to hear isn't theory. It's not motivation. It's 7 ancient psychological weapons that the greatest minds in history used to conquer fear, destroy anxiety, and master their own minds. Let's begin. Number 1. Cognitive reframing. In 1960, a psychiatrist named Aaron Beck developed what he called cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. The idea was revolutionary at the time. Beck argued that it's not events that disturb us, but rather our interpretation of those events. Change the way you think about something, and you change the way you feel about it. This single idea launched a billion-dollar therapy industry. But here's the thing. Marcus Aurelius wrote the exact same concept in his private journal, Meditations, around 170 AD. He wrote, quote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He also wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That's not philosophy. That is cognitive reframing, stated with more clarity than most modern textbooks. Marcus Aurelius wasn't a therapist. He was the most powerful man on earth, leading armies, burying children, facing plagues. And every night, he sat down and rewired his own thinking. For free. In a journal no one was ever supposed to read. Number 2. Defensive pessimism. In the 1980s, psychologist Julie Norham at Wellesley College published research on a strategy she called defensive pessimism. The idea was counterintuitive. Instead of thinking positively before a stressful event, you deliberately imagine everything that could go wrong. You visualize failure. You sit with it. And paradoxically, this reduces your anxiety and improves your performance. Her research was celebrated. But what Norham described, the Stoics had been practicing for centuries. They called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Seneca wrote to his friend Lucilius, quote, "We should project our thoughts ahead of us at every turn, and have in mind every possible eventuality instead of only the usual course of events." Every morning, the Stoics would sit and imagine loss. Imagine rejection. Imagine death. Not to become depressed, but to become prepared. Because when you've already faced the worst in your mind, reality can only surprise you with something better. Think about it. How much of your anxiety comes from things you didn't see coming? Premeditatio malorum removes the element of surprise from suffering. And it costs you nothing but 5 minutes of honest thought each morning. Number 3. Exposure therapy. Modern exposure therapy is considered one of the most effective treatments for phobias, PTSD, and anxiety disorders. The principle is simple. You deliberately expose yourself to the thing you fear, in controlled doses, until the fear loses its grip. Clinics charge thousands of dollars for structured exposure programs. But Seneca was prescribing this exact method 2,000 years ago. He called it voluntary discomfort. In his letters, Seneca urged his students to set aside certain days to practice poverty. Sleep on a hard floor. Eat the simplest food. Wear your worst clothing. He wrote, quote, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, is this the condition that I feared?" He understood something therapists rediscovered centuries later. The anticipation of discomfort is almost always worse than the discomfort itself. And the only way to prove that to your nervous system is to go through it voluntarily. Cold showers, fasting, sleeping on the floor. These aren't just wellness trends. They are ancient psychological inoculations against the fear of losing everything. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because the next technique doesn't come from Rome. It comes from the warriors who built their entire culture around the mastery of fear. Number 4. Death meditation. The samurai practiced a form of meditation called maranasati, a Buddhist technique of meditating on your own death. Every morning, a samurai warrior would sit in stillness and vividly imagine his death. Being cut down in battle. Drowning. Burning. Falling. He would picture his body lifeless, his family continuing without him. This wasn't morbid. It was strategic. The legendary samurai text Hagakure states, quote, "Meditation on inevitable death should be performed daily. And every day, without fail, one should consider himself as dead." Here's what most people don't understand. This practice didn't make the samurai depressed. It made them decisive. When you've already accepted that today could be your last day, you stop hesitating. You stop worrying about what people think. You stop postponing the things that matter. And modern psychology has confirmed this. In 2007, researchers at the University of Kentucky found that participants who were reminded of their mortality made bolder decisions, procrastinated less, and reported a greater sense of meaning in their daily actions. Top psychologists now use mortality salience exercises, a clinical version of maranasati, to treat chronic procrastination and indecision. The samurai knew this 500 years ago. They just didn't need a clinical name for it. Number 5. And this might be the most important one. The dichotomy of control. Epictetus was born a slave in the Roman Empire. He was owned, beaten, and his leg was permanently crippled, either from his master's abuse or from illness. He had no money, no status, no freedom. And yet, this man developed the single most prescribed mental framework in modern stress management. He said, quote, "Some things are within our power, while others are not. Within our power are opinion, motivation, desire, and aversion. Not within our power are our body, our property, our reputation, and our position." This is the dichotomy of control. Two categories. Things you can control. Things you cannot. And all of your suffering, every bit of it, comes from confusing the two. When you rage at traffic, you're trying to control what you can't. When you obsess over someone's opinion of you, you're trying to control what you can't. When you lose sleep over the economy, politics, or whether your flight will be delayed, you are burning energy on the uncontrollable and wondering why you feel exhausted. In 2016, a meta-analysis published in the Journal of Clinical Psychology found that patients who were taught to distinguish between controllable and uncontrollable stressors showed a 40% reduction in generalized anxiety symptoms. 40%. From one idea. An idea that a crippled slave articulated with perfect clarity nearly 2 millennia ago. And he never charged a dime. Think about that the next time someone tries to sell you a breakthrough method for managing stress. The breakthrough already happened. In a Roman slave's classroom. For free. Number 6. Negative visualization as gratitude practice. Here's something that will surprise you. The Stoics invented one of the most effective gratitude exercises ever documented, and it looks nothing like a gratitude journal. Instead of writing down what you're thankful for, they asked you to imagine losing it. Imagine your home is gone. Imagine your loved ones are gone. Imagine your health disappears tomorrow. Epictetus instructed his students, quote, "When you kiss your child goodnight, whisper to yourself, tomorrow they may be gone." That sounds harsh. But researchers at the University of Virginia found that people who practiced negative visualization reported significantly higher levels of gratitude and life satisfaction than those who kept traditional gratitude journals. Why? Because you can't truly appreciate what you have until you've genuinely confronted the possibility of losing it. Number 7. The view from above. Marcus Aurelius had a practice he returned to again and again in his journal. He would mentally zoom out from his own life and see himself from a great height. He would picture the entire city of Rome, then the empire, then the full scope of history, all the millions who lived and died before him, all their worries, all their ambitions, all turned to dust. He wrote, quote, "How small a part of the boundless and unfathomable time is assigned to every man. How soon it is swallowed up in the eternal." This is now used in clinical psychology as a distancing technique. Therapists call it self-distancing or cognitive diffusion. When you zoom out from your problems, they shrink. Your breakup, your failure at work, your embarrassment, seen from a distance, from the long arc of your entire life, most of these moments are barely a footnote. So here's the deeper lesson behind all 7 of these techniques. The most powerful tools for the human mind have already been discovered. They were discovered by people who had no brain scans, no clinical trials, no research grants. They were discovered by people who suffered deeply and refused to be destroyed by it. A slave with a broken leg. An emperor burying his children. A philosopher exiled from his homeland. A warrior preparing to die every single morning. These people didn't have therapists. They had themselves. And through relentless self-examination, they built mental frameworks so powerful that 20 centuries later, the best psychologists in the world are still teaching them, just under different names and at different prices. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars to access this wisdom. You need a journal. A few minutes of silence each morning. And the willingness to be honest with yourself about what you can control and what you cannot. The ancient Stoics knew something that the modern world keeps trying to forget. The human mind hasn't changed. Our fears are the same fears Seneca described. Our anxieties are the same anxieties Marcus Aurelius fought every night. The tools that worked then still work now. They always will. Because they weren't designed for a specific era. They were designed for the human condition itself. Seneca once wrote, quote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a great deal of it." The wisdom you need is already written. It's been waiting for you, patiently, for 2,000 years. The only question is whether you'll keep paying someone else to read it to you, or finally pick it up yourself.